Hi, this is Rajat from StartupFrat bringing you a video again as promised, and today we are going to be talking about mind muscle. Okay, the single most important thing that's going to make the difference between failure and success in any endeavor, whether it's sports or any kind of achievement, mastering an art, mastering, becoming successful in business, becoming a better person, better parent, whatever it is. Okay, mind muscle. Okay, the way the brain thinks, it's now common knowledge. It used to be less common earlier, but back in the day, back in 2002, I read this book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Okay, by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Very cheap book. If you want, you should totally get it for yourself, and very small book, you can read it overnight. But what this book was saying was, this is some research that was done in the 1940s and all that. They said that basically the way you think and the amount of ideas you can assimilate in your brain and the amount that you can basically implement will determine how much your success is. And over a period of time, what is happening is, as we go forward from the agrarian age to the industrial age to the information age, and now the age is called the golden age or the knowledge age or the age of individualism and things like that, what's going to happen is everything that used to take 3 generations to achieve earlier is going to be achieved in 1 generation. If you look at Bill Gates, he was a billionaire before the age of 30 and he was a college dropout. So he basically taught himself a lot of these things like coding and things like that. And within a period of 10 years, from the age of 20 to the age of 30, in a period of 10 years, he become a billionaire. Okay, a lot of different people have done different things in life. It is because the mind muscle or the power of your subconscious mind basically triggers. So they say that your brain is like a supercomputer, etc., and it can create your reality for you if only you give it the right kind of nutrition and you keep it focused. So that's what we're going to talk about in a short format, like 15-20 minutes, and then maybe later we can talk about it in detail. Okay, so it's called mind muscle. So let me start with a story. In the history of Olympics, since like 600 BC or something, the Olympics started, or something like that. In the history of Olympics, that's 2000 years post AD, and then another 600 years, 2500 years. What had happened was, or 2400 years, nobody had ever run a 1 mile distance in 4 minutes. Nobody had ever run a 1 mile distance in 4 minutes, and it was considered unachievable by human muscle. They said that humans cannot run it because it's only the 4-legged animals can run it and things like that, and human muscle is incapable of doing that, and if you try doing that, you'll probably die and all that. And what happened was that there was this person called Roger Bannister. He was a Britisher, and he decided that he's going to try to do it, and he got a coach. He practiced a lot, and back, I think, in 1976 or something like that, like very recently, in 1976, or I think it was 1966, I forget. But he basically broke through the 4-minute mind. He was the first person in the history of time to have run a 1 mile distance in a race inside of 4 minutes. Okay, it's called the 4-minute mile. If you put it in Google, you'll see Roger Bannister's name, the 4-minute mile. Okay, now that's not the real story. The funny story is that in 1 year after that incident happened, 1 year, 13 people broke his record. 13 people broke it, something that had been assumed to be incapable. Human muscle cannot achieve that, and it's dangerous. Even if you try to do that, you'll die of dehydration, whatever it is. In the history of Olympics in 2600 years, that had not been achieved. That record was broken within 13 months in 1 year by 13 different people, right? Now, why did that happen? The mind muscle, by doing that feat once, not only did Roger Bannister bring him to a level where he was operating at that level, he brought a lot of other people to that level. Their mind muscle was also built to accommodate this idea, just by virtue of him breaking that record. And then they said, if he can do it, I can do it, and they did better. Okay, so if you see in today's times, Mark Zuckerberg became a billionaire at the age of 26. Okay, it took him like less than 5 years to become a billionaire, what had taken Bill Gates, which was considered unheard of in those times. And even in the age of Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, who was once the richest man in the world, it had taken like 30 years, 40 years of hard work to become what Walmart was. And Bill Gates was able to do that in 10 years. Mark Zuckerberg was able to do that in less than that time. Okay, so how does your mind muscle work? If you are able to train, the single most important thing, that's going to help you become financially successful is if you're able to accommodate newer ideas, which is you want to have the desire and all that, but if you're able to accommodate what it is that's going to get you there. Okay, if you're able to accommodate, believe and act on those ideas, that's going to get you there more than anything else. Mind muscle. Okay. Now I have some notes over here that I'm going to consult, so just bear with me, because these days I'm unable to plan my time, because after the corona, the things have started opening up, so I'm very overworked. But I can guarantee you that these 20 minutes spent with me today or any other day is going to be the best use of your 20 minutes. Okay, so mind muscle is basically built, you can supercharge that mind muscle by building by 3 things. The first thing is focus. The second thing is novelty. The third thing is risk of failure. The best way to build mind muscle is to do things with focus. The second thing is to do new things. And the third thing is to do things in the face of fear of failing or risk of failing. Okay, so what is focus? Focus is this, that on a daily basis, your brain is basically working in every different direction. Your brain is working all the time, even when you're sleeping, right? And your brain is working in all these different directions, all these different directions. Okay, but the people who are successful, like Bill Gates' brain is working only on one direction, this direction. Okay, they asked Mark Zuckerberg once that you always seem to, and Steve Jobs and all these people, you always seem to wear the same t-shirt. He's like, no, it's not the same t-shirt. I've got the exact same, like 6-7 of these t-shirts. I've got 6 of them in blue and 6 of them in black, and every morning I just pick up any one. And for many days I may be wearing a blue because I don't remember, and I don't want to remember which color I wore yesterday. So it may be that 3 days that, I'm just wearing blue. And that's it. And the reason is because I don't even want to spend half a second of my life thinking about what I'm going to wear today. I don't even want to spend half a second of my life thinking about what I'm going to wear today. There is only one thought in my mind, which is how to make this social experience, which is Facebook, better for everybody, commercially as well as socially, if you're connecting with friends, as well as for business people who want to throw out ads and things like that. That is my only thing. That is the only thing that I want to accommodate in my mind. Okay. Bill Gates said, I was grateful to have become a billionaire by the age of 30, because after that I wanted to be a family man as well. I wanted to spend time with family and things like that. And the only thought that was there in my brain from the age of 20 to 30 was to put a computer on every single desk in this country, inside a home as well as inside an office, which means office desk as well as home desk. That was the only single thought in my mind. Okay, and it was very, very difficult in those times to dream like this, because it was just crazy. I mean, people are like, dude, you really need psychiatric help, because computers were huge. They were the size of my entire apartment. They cost tons and tons in weight, and then they cost upwards of $1 million. And basically what you had to do in order to just get a computer is you had to be a multi-million-dollar company, or the government. Only the government owned computers and universities. And then what you had to do was, you could not speak to a computer. There was no screen, there was no nothing. There were no buttons, nothing. You had to have programmers and scientists speak to computers. So computers were used to store large amounts of data and, all kinds of different things. They did not have any home usage. So in order to get a computer on every desk, you had to not only make them smaller, the processing power had to dramatically increase gazillions % every year, because that still needed to have the same processing power. And then you had to build applications where a normal person could actually speak to a computer without having like a PhD in, some scientific subject or something. Then they had to be made lighter so people could buy them and they could be shipped to your home, and they had to be made cheaper. So instead of $1 million, you could just afford one for like $300, $400, $500. And that was the only thing that if you transport yourself back to Bill Gates' time and think about any technology which is like, imagine like a Rafale warplane that our country has bought for defense. Imagine if somebody said, I'm going to make this plane inside of 2 lakh rupees and its functionality is going to be the same. You'll be able to drive it around. It's going to be able to do reconnaissance and all that. And you'll be able to just fly it on the weekends and enjoy your time. And not only that, you won't need to go to the airport. You can park one in your garage, and the moment you press a button, it'll just vertically take off. And I'll do this in a space of 10 years. If somebody said that, it's just, people will be like, what the hell is going on, dude? You need help, right? So now again, today it doesn't seem to be so crazy because people have done crazy things already. So our mind muscle as a species has been built. But in those times it was just crazy. And so in order to achieve that, he had to think only about that one thing and all the other surrounding facts around that, the cost, what is the equipment, what is the processor. Funny thing that around the same time, Andy Grove, a gentleman called Andy Grove, took over a company called Intel, which was a money-losing company. And he cut out all the product lines of that company, which used to make transistors and radios and all kinds of other things. And he cut out all the product lines and he focused on processors. And he told his company, cut out all the stuff. There is only one mission statement of this company for the next 50 years. And that mission statement is to double the amount of information on a 2x4 chip every single year. You have to make sure that the amount of information on a chip of whatever size doubles every single year. The capacity of that chip needs to double every single year. That's the only rule of that. I think it was double or 10 times or something like that. Okay. So funnily, these two guys, Andy Grove, Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs, formed like a huge friendship because all of their businesses were allied, and there are lots of photos about them hanging out together. And then they never actually did press conferences, but there's like literally one press conference, like a dinner when they were coming out, they actually spoke to reporters, all three of them in the same frame. But all three of them were each other's friends, although Bill Gates and Steve Jobs were actually competitors because they were working in the same direction, which was everyone had the same passion that I want to bring the power of this computer to every single human being on the planet inside their home. Okay, that is the power of focus. Okay, now the reason, the learning that we get from this is how can you actually maximize your focus? Somebody said that your time is your most important asset, and then there's a gentleman called 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐿, who's a very, very famous online marketer. I attended his webinar, and my own mentor, 𝐸𝐻𝐿 𝐸, he actually invited me to that webinar. And he said, it's not your time, it is your focus that is your number one asset. Because time is limited. Everybody has 24 hours and everybody has so many years on this planet. What you can change is, if you can change your focus, you can achieve great things. How can you do that? What is it that you can cut out of your life to make time for something constructive, which could be succeeding financially or things like that? Wasting time. First thing is wasting time on social media. You wake up, you open the damn app, and you spend 15 minutes watching a bunch of dumbass stuff that is of no use to anyone. Okay, you need to cut that out. Okay. The second thing is, and I feel strongly about it, this is not my business advice or my personal advice. We spend way too much talking to family inside the house and relatives outside the house. They're just hanging around on the phone with them every single day for 20 minutes. It's not going to add any value to anyone, including them or you. Okay, there was this time. So I live in Pune, and for 20 years I've lived in Pune, and I've lived in Pune since the time that you literally had to go to an STD booth and call your parents in Delhi. And at that time, because they were so far away and the flights were difficult to afford, and there was like one flight in 3 days from Pune to Delhi, and you could not really connect with them. So in your heart, you always emotionally felt distant. So whatever time you could get, and if you could afford that STD call, you would just go and make an STD call, right? Those days are gone now. Everybody is connected. The world is today smaller. You're WhatsApping each other every day. You know what's happening. You're all connected, and it's very easy to hop on a flight. Even if somebody lives in Dubai or Singapore, you can literally go to the Pune airport in 10 minutes, get a ticket, and fly to Singapore or Dubai in like 2 seconds. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is just hanging around on the phone with your loved ones for like 1 hour every day or 15 minutes every day has no value. Okay, save that time and do something constructive so that you can increase everybody's lifestyle, right? Improve everybody's living conditions. This is totally useless. Okay, inside the house, between me and my spouse, everything is on autopilot. For 5 days, we don't really technically need to speak to anyone. Okay, so the cook comes, she has her own expense account. We don't think about what it is that we need to make for lunch or dinner. We don't talk about this lunch and dinner bullshit at all. Okay, the cook has her expense account. She has she knows what I like to eat from Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday, and she knows, like, my wife likes to cook something nice for herself with her own hands in the night. So she knows what she likes. She's gonna cut those things, put them in a vacuum wrap and keep them for her. I basically just make me these 5 things in whatever random combination, put them in the fridge. I'll get it out of the fridge, microwave it and eat it myself. It doesn't matter. Dude, those things don't matter, okay? Just relax. Now, if you have kids and you really want to take care of them slightly better than that, then I totally agree and understand that. But you need to figure out how to put this whole thing on autopilot. So for the productive part of the week, you're not worrying about and just literally discussing. I mean, just people just discuss about this food stuff like way too long. What it is that has to be cooked tomorrow, what would you like, then what would you like? Oh, I'll take anything. Okay, what would you like? I'll take anything. Anything is good. No, tell me, no, what would you like? Oh, I'll take anything. Okay, so if everybody wants anything, just cook whatever the hell, dude. You know, you know, just get on with it, man. It's food, whatever. Okay, so, and then going out and buying this stuff, what a colossal waste of time. My cook has her own expense account. She buys the stuff herself. I never ask her how much it costs and all that. In the low season, onions are like $200 a kg. In the high season, onions are being wasted and go down and rotting to death because there's so much supply and nobody's buying so much. So that is the way the economy works. Don't worry about it and don't fret about it and just outsource the damn thing, okay? Just don't worry about it. Complete waste of time. All this social media, talking to relatives, friends, all this food stuff, this food planning will just save like a lot of time in your life, okay? The third thing is just hanging around with colleagues in the office for no reason whatsoever. One of the big reasons I quit my corporate job, although it was paying me more than God itself, was a bunch of jokers would show up in my cabin and just talk a lot about dumb stuff that was not adding to anything. And then as soon as we were done selling our company and all that, and the corporates came in, and then corporates had no growth goals, man. Our company, when we were running it ourselves, had growth goals of like 100% growth every year, and later like 40% growth every year when we were doing 30 million a year. The growth goals that our CEO set were like 40% growth every year. The moment we became corporate, it became like 7% growth every year. That was the growth goal. So it was great because we were all making a lot of free money. But basically, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to grow at 7% a year. So then everybody had a lot of time. So then everybody started hanging out. All the directors had a special hangout room with TV and sports were playing on that, and then people would just hang out over there, and then there was a personal waiter who would bring coffee whatever time you want, and then he would bring anything from anywhere. Like, you just tell him, hey, I want something from Starbucks, the guy is just gonna go out and get something from Starbucks for you, right? But it was just a waste. So I decided to quit and do something pivotal. Okay, that's anyway, please don't quit your job and anything, okay? Please don't do that. Okay, but please do not waste time with colleagues and don't let other people waste your time, okay? The third thing, smoking and drinking, just quit it, dude. Quit it. Okay, so I grew up in the army, and obviously booze was free flowing, and I loved it, and I still love it. But if you end up going out on Saturday nights, every single Saturday night, it takes you like half of your Sunday to recover, or the full Sunday to recover. Your brain ain't working so well on Sunday, right? But those are the 1.5 days that God personally gifted you to work on your dream. Why would you I love my beer, but it's poison to your brain, okay? So don't slow your brain down at a time where it needs to be working in peak capacity, okay? So all of these things, right? All of this stuff is no meaning in life. The only thing that has meaning in life is how do I get to next level? Okay, the opportunities that are being presented by the post-corona market will help you change your entire life, If you've been with me on any of these demo webinars where I tell you my story, I show in there with photos and proof how I changed my life in a matter of a few years to get into India's top 1% income segment. Okay, and if you're lucky, if you stay tuned, you'll probably get to attend that webinar as well whenever it happens next. Okay, so focus on the stuff, and it will give you a lot of family time, dude. I mean, I worked in the US for many years, and what I learned out of those guys was they're really very focused with their time. So if they want to spend time with kids, it is the 5 to 7 time. So the kids also know 5 to 7, parents will hang out with me, parents know 5 to 7, they're going to hang out with me. And the kids have to be organized themselves. If between 5 and 7, they're too busy playing their video games, that's cool. They want to waste their time, that's cool. Then the parents don't hang out with them after 7, because everybody comes to home after their office by 5, 6 o'clock, then they spend some time with the kids, and then they get down to their own stuff. And many of these people are actually working till late in the night after dinner. So they do the dinner and then they're working, they're doing some stuff on their laptop till 10, 11 in the night. Okay, my own brother lives in the UK, that's what he does. Okay, so everything is budgeted. Everything is like budgeted, okay? So focus. The second thing is novelty. This is more important than probably the focus as well. You will need to do things that are new to you, and you will need to learn them. Okay, you will need to do things that are new to you, and you will need to learn how to do new things. And when you're learning them, it will be painful. Like I had to learn a lot of different softwares. I had to learn this video editing stuff. So by the way, this video I'm doing on live camera. There's a camera behind the camera, and I'm going to make a course out of it because some of you said I need to learn how to do video journaling. So I'm making this thing for you right now as we speak. Okay. Now all of this stuff I had to learn how to do. When I started making videos, first the voice won't work, there was too much noise if I posted the video. I have videos of myself from 10 years back when I was learning how to do videos, before internet had the power to actually load those videos, right? So you'll have to go and learn new things, and you'll have to do them consistently in the face of disappointment, in the face of frustration, because I'm really bad with this tech stuff. Every time somebody says just get onto a new platform, like this whole Zoom thing went into the privacy problem, and I had to get onto Demio, dude, I held my head and I almost smashed it into the wall because I'm so frustrated learning a new tech thing that is like, I'm just not made for it, but I have to do it. Okay, so novelty, you'll have to learn and do new things, and even the things you're doing, you have to push the barriers. All the top athletes in the world, whether it is Messi or Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, all of these guys. Michael Jordan, after he won the Super Bowl, the very same night he would go and practice, and the very next day he would be on the practice field. He would just not rest, because he was building his mind muscle already. Right after winning the championship, he would just, on the very same night, he would be going on partying, and the very next day he would be on the court. He would be practicing and not partying, sorry. And then the very next day he would be on the court practicing, because he was already building his mind muscle. He knew that if I have done this today, my competition just learned this from today. Their mind muscle is here now. Next year I'm not going to win against the same guys, because I just brought my own competition's mind muscle here. Now what I got to do is I got to take my mind muscle to the next level. So when am I going to win? The next 2 months, when everybody else is going to relax and spend family time. The Super Bowl is over. All of that hard struggle is over. Regardless of whether they won or did not win, they're going to take it easy for the next 2 months. And I'm going to make my Super Bowl win in the next 2 months. So the Super Bowl was won before the Super Bowl even started. Mind muscle, my friends. Okay. All of these guys, what makes Messi, he's so short, but what makes him win? Because in his mind, everything that is happening, his mind is playing it 2 seconds faster. His mind muscle is stronger. He knows where the ball is going to be. He also knows where every one of the 20 players on the field, whether it's opponents or my own, are going to be in the next 2 seconds. I know that now. Those 2 seconds, that mind muscle being stronger by 2 extra seconds, makes him the greatest footballer in the world and worth like $600 million or whatever it is. Okay, mind muscle. Risk of failure. Invariably, the things that have the highest possible return are done in the face of failure. Risk of failure, which means when you go out and do something, there will be a risk of failure. Let me just read my notes so I stay on topic over here. Okay. Risk of failure, risk of ridicule, pain pain of learning. I think we already covered it in this thing comes over here, pain of learning. Okay, risk of failure and ridicule is the big one. Most of us, we like the familiarity because there is no risk in familiarity. If someone says do this job, or this job is over, do the other job. So you quit one job and you go to another job. There is familiarity. You can say, hey, this is what I did. I see a lot of comments that come into my personal the Facebook page inbox, where people don't like to say it on the group, right? They send it to me in the inbox. They're like, sir, I have 15 years of experience working in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and Thailand, or whatever. And I've been into marketing. I've built big companies. And what do you think is going to be the right thing for me? Well, the right thing for you is, first of all, forget about all that. Forget about those 15 years, because none of that. If you do something that is familiar to you, chances are the quantum leap will not happen. You can bring those learnings and do something in an area where the action is going to happen. Now, that area may not be the same area that you have experience in, but if it has to be done in the right game. Okay, for example, if I had all the nice learning and experience in the world and I get into the pager market, what good is it going to do me, dude? That market is dead. I imagine I make the world's best pager. Who's that going to help? Nobody. Where is the action? You got to know where the action is, and bring all that learning. 15 years, you've been a hotshot, whatever. Bring that learning into a new market. So if you're stuck in that mindset, I've done 15 years of this, that, the other, what area do you think I should deploy my learning in? I don't care. You should deploy your learning in the area that's going to make money. Now bring all your learnings. They will be happy. They are also part of your mind muscle. Please bring them. You'll have to develop new mind muscle too, dude. All that old stuff is gone. Right? So what is my mind muscle that I'm building over the last 15 months? I think I said in the video yesterday that somebody told me you'll have to build online communities. And so how do you build online communities? By doing a video every single day. And today I was busy with some of my other professional stuff, dealing with my clients, etc. And then I have another meeting at 9 o'clock today with the students of the StartupFrat online school. And literally I have like 1 hour and 10 minutes left, and I'm making this video on video. Okay, because I want to get it out of the way. And what is the mind muscle I'm bringing is that I have to do this every single day. I need to have something nice to contribute every single day, and I need to do this every single day regardless of how busy I am. I don't have the time. It's very easy for me to miss a video and get away with it, but I try not to do it. That's the mind muscle I'm building. Okay, so that's pretty much where I'm coming from. Risk of failure and ridicule. Always when you do something new, going to come with risk of failure and ridicule. When I put my first video online, I faced a lot of potential risk and ridicule from my so-called friends and all that. But obviously my friends and family circle has become more and more tuned to the fact that this guy is going to do something crazy, and whenever he does it, he will be successful, because I personally don't really care what other people think. In fact, the reason my friend circle has become even better and better, honed over time, honed over the last 15-20 years, it's become better and better and better, is because everybody who ridiculed me fell off my attention spectrum. I didn't care. They were not the right friends for me, and they'll probably not be the right friends for you too. And the more you become successful, the more correct, right kind of people you will collect around you. Just look at this community, 3,000 people. Every time I send out a video, I get like at least 20 compliments saying, hey, this was very valuable to me, keep it coming, look forward to being in touch with you more. 20 comments, there's 20 new friends I just made. Do I care about the old friends who are like, oh man, aajkal bade video ban rahe hain? Right? And invariably, you will have to get more and more public as you get up the influence spectrum. More and more public. Okay, whether it's politics, whether it's commerce or business, whether it's sports, you'll have to get more and more public. Ronaldo, Cristiano, when he was playing in his little leagues in Portugal, he was not public. And then he had to come and become a little more public in the national team. Then he had to go play in Manchester United or wherever he played first. And that was a little more public. And then he had to go to Real. And that was even more public because now he was the key player. Everything, every aspect of success, you will be getting more public. So be very, very... just accept this for what it is. More people will see you, and more people will see you fail. Okay, but it's a 20-year journey, it's a 10-year journey. I told you in the video yesterday, good opportunities come once in 7 to 10 years. So if you latch on to one, you gotta milk it for 7 to 10 years at least, my friend. So the next one ain't coming for 7 to 10 years. So, so you have to do things with focus, novelty, and with risk of failure. If any of these things are not present, chances are you will gain by 10%, 20%, but you won't gain very much. I see a lot of Facebook ads, futures, options. Seriously, dude. In today's market, you want to put 10,000 rupees and take out 12,000 rupees and you want to pat yourself on the back for what? 20% gain in the market is not game changing, my friend. 2000% gain in the market is game changing. Okay, for literally next to nothing, okay, you can do things, but you need to have that mindset of 20,000% return, 10,000% return on everything. Which brings me to another idea that I don't have in my notes, but I will explain this to you anyway, is the cost of time. Okay, cost of time and value of time. Okay, so if I make about 1 lakh rupees a month, let's say, or let's say 10 lakh rupees a year, whatever your gross pay package is, you divide by 2000, that's your cost of time. That's the cost you're putting into every hour. That's 1000 rupees an hour you're putting into every hour, because your cost of time is 10 lakh rupees. Now, if you want to get to the next level, which is 1 crore rupees, 7 zeros, right? You divide that by 2000, and this is the value of your time. So every time you spend half an hour, you know, with somebody stupid that's not adding value to you, or you waste like 30 minutes watching some dumb stuff on Netflix. I don't even have Netflix. I don't have a TV. Okay. Right. So every time it's 1,000 rupees, it's 500 rupees an hour. That's 2, right? 500 rupees an hour. And this one is 5,000 rupees an hour. Okay, I just wasted 500 rupees. If this is my pay packet, I spent an hour doing something that I shouldn't be doing. I'm not saying don't entertain yourself. Have it budgeted. I have some time budgeted on Sunday. I have some time budgeted on Friday night. Friday night, I have to take my wife out to dinner. No question about it. And I have my wine and everything. No question. Okay, I keep it under control because Saturday morning, 6 o'clock, I'm on the job again. And then Sunday, second half, after like 12:30, 1 o'clock, I have my lunch. I have banged some nice aloo parathas and a glass of lassi, and then I'm all like, you know, in my zone. And then the rest half of the Sunday is pretty much just hang out, maybe go to a movie or whatever it is, right? So just budget it. Whatever it is, just budget it. Outside of that budgeted time, every single minute, every single hour that you waste in the wrong thing is 500 rupees lost in cash, and 5,000 rupees lost in potential gain 1 year from now. Okay. The other thing is that I personally believe you can get to the next level. This mind muscle building is done within a period of 90 days. So if you do it in an intense fashion, if you spend enough time on it, along with your job and all that, but if you spend an extra 20, 30 hours a week building this mind muscle, building your skill sets, in 90 days, you will be ready to gain from the opportunities in the market. 90 days, maximum. This whole online business and all, I built on live camera that generates more than 6 figures a month. And I sold it to my competition. I built a course out of it and I sold it to my competition for 40,000 rupees a download. Okay, that paid me more money than the actual customers pay me. Okay, it took me 35 days. And because it was Corona lockdown, I was working 12 to 14 hours a day. I was not going to Facebook and finding out how many Corona cases there are in my society, what is a lockdown and all. I would carry a trolley bag to the grocery store, like a trolley bag, like the big thing that I carry in international airports. And I would just fill it with a lot of stuff. And then I would find like the biggest pressure cooker I have in my house and make like this much of food and put it in the fridge and eat it, right? Microwave it every single day and eat it. And I worked 12 to 14 hours a day doing this. I learned this video stuff. I learned a lot of online stuff. I learned a lot of these things that are not, I'm a sales and marketing guy, and sales and marketing guys are very simple people. They're not into like a lot of technology. Sales guys, they're not into like a lot of technology and all that. But I learned this stuff, okay? So every single minute, every single hour you spend is cash down right here and potential gain of 5,000 right here. Okay? So that's pretty much it. It's been a little, this video is not very structured in thought pattern because I didn't have the time to do it, and then I wanted to do this whole thing video on video, so I had to set the whole thing up, so that cost time. But I wanted to get this video out there. I hope you like it. Just write in the comments what were your takeaways and what were the things you liked best. And if I was like super honest about some things, that's how I am in real life. I have to tone it down for the purpose of Facebook. Okay, now 3 good news I have before I go. Any business you run in today's times, you will not need to waste a lot of money. You will not need to invest a lot of time, which means you won't have to quit your job in order to do this stuff. And then if you lose friends, they're probably not your right friends. So it's a win-win situation. You don't need a lot of money these days. With very little money, you can get this moving. And by little money, I don't want to promise that you can do this for free, press this button, lakh of rupees will arrive in your bank account, nothing like that. It's 90 days of very hard work, minimum 20 to 30 hours a week. But you need to. The founding of a startup used to take crores of rupees, and 2-3 people had to put money and then loan money from the bank and all that in order to start a fund. Today you can do it within a couple of lakhs in the comfort of your own home, and with the right kind of idea and the right kind of execution. And the running of the business does not cost very much. In fact, this whole business that I built, I told you on live camera, I did it from my apartment because it was lockdown period. I couldn't even go to my office. I couldn't hire employees. Although I do sometimes take help from people in order when I do Facebook Live and all that, because I can never figure out what's happening where and what the other person is seeing from the other side. So I don't know how to, I just get lost. So I have somebody on the phone telling me, okay, yeah, you're live, it's all good or whatever. But it doesn't cost a lot of money, it doesn't cost a lot of time. You won't have to quit your job to do it, but every single waking minute of yours, my friend, has to be spent constructively. Okay, so I'm not giving you any undue promises and all that. And the third thing is, if you lose friends, they're probably the right friends to lose, and you're the wrong people in your life. Okay, there's a joke I once read in a book. It said, if I loan somebody $100 and never see their face again, the $100 is probably worth it. Okay. And then one more thought I had in my mind. I think we are good to go now. I think there was something coming to my mind, I lost it. Anyway, so that's it from my side on this video, and I hope you appreciate whatever you learned. Just write in the comments column what you liked about it, so that Facebook keeps showing you those videos. And I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Bye bye.